watch lovers. Today we're looking at the Watchdives 006, and we're also going to compare that to the SanMartin that is an homage to a very similar model. In addition, I've also brought along the Pagani design that looks like it also has similar characteristics. And the Watchdives has a 38mm case in diameter. It has a screw down crown. It's got a VH31 movement, so it is a quartz, but you can see the sweeping hand. And that, of course, differs from the SanMartin, which has the Seiko NH35 automatic movement. You do have AR coating on the glass, which the Pagani design does not have. The finishing of the piece is to a very nice standard. If you're comparing it to the SanMartin, which I think is what a lot of people are really interested in, the head of the piece is actually surprisingly comparable. Personally, I think that the indices are maybe slightly sharper on the SanMartin, but the transitions between brushing and polishing on my particular piece are actually slightly sharper on the Watchdives piece, on the head of the piece. We do have the signed crown on each of these, and it's obviously going to be a little more difficult to really compare the dials themselves because my Watchdives is black and the SanMartin is the olive green. The olive green obviously lends itself a little bit better to variations in the lighting condition and a little bit more of a sun ray effect. There is a slight sun ray effect on the Watchdives, but it's black, so it's going to be very subtle. The Pagani design has a much more pronounced sun ray effect, but you're also dealing with no AR coating, and it can be very difficult to read the dial in a number of lighting conditions because of it. I do think that the underlying teak pattern and the blue on the Pagani design, other than the AR coating, that actually has a pretty premium look to it, whereas the Watchdives by nature is going to be more subtle. But I think that's good for an everyday piece like this. Another characteristic that I think a lot of people are interested in is that the Watchdives certainly is a little bit thinner. And I'll get some measurements in there with my calipers, but they are very close to what was stated in the advertised listing for each of these pieces. You have sapphire crystal on both of these, and I think the place that they start to differ the most is really in the bracelet. Most people are going to be familiar with SanMartin quality, but this particular piece, some people were complaining about the end links or catching occasionally. I found that mine really doesn't do that a whole lot, and so mine feels pretty good. But others were mentioning, these, like, and see, you just catch there for just a brief moment. And the Watchdives does not have that problem at all on any of these. It is a lighter piece, and I can kind of feel that in a bracelet, but the overall weight of this one, size for my 7.5 inch wrist, was 107 grams. The SanMartin size, the same, is 127 grams. And of course, some of that's going to be the difference in the movement on the inside, but the clasp at the bottom, another difference with the on-fly adjustment clasp to the SanMartin to this clasp on the Watchdives. And this has a little bit of jangle clackiness to it. It's not real bad, but it is like the one area that you'd probably want to see a little bit of ribbon on, as well as this is a little bit loose, just one of those tolerances that could have been, that one feels pretty good, but this one right here is a little bit loose. It's one of those things that you could just increase the quality a little bit to give a little bit more of a premium feel to it. The actual finishing of the bracelet is nice brushing. I'm glad that they did not do polished links other than on the side, which that's acceptable to me. And that's one thing I don't like about the the original would be the polished links. So for me, that is an improvement. Everything fits together well. The bottom side of this, my other criticism would be this feels a little bit rough to me in terms of a little sharp, I should say. It's not rough. I would say it's a little sharp. Nothing really bad on my wrist in particular, but an area where it'd probably be nice if this was rolled off on the edges. This on the SanMartin feels a little bit more rolled off and refined under there. The case back is plain, and that's fine. It also has the notches so that you can remove the back to replace the battery when the time comes. And another very nice feature is quick release pins on the lugs. So you can remove the bracelet without an additional tool, and then you can put it on different straps and things like that. And I've already done that. Now, that brings me to another area where I think that this is an improvement from, say, the Pagani design. The Pagani design, the lugs at the end are designed so that I did put it on a different strap here, but this is about the only extra aftermarket style strap that I can actually fit on this thing without kind of bending the spring bar because it is so close to the case. The Watchdives, they did the right thing and made the lugs a little bit longer so that you can actually put different straps on it, whether or not that's leather, rubber, other straight stainless steel such as this Milanese style bracelet here. And so that to me is like a problem with the Pagani design build choice that they made. And I think that the Watchdives is great in that regard because now you can use a variety of straps on it without much effort. And wonder if maybe some other companies should really start taking note and doing the quick release pins. And I think that that's a smart call here. The overall quality is really exceptional for the price. I'm very pleased with mine. The fact that you can replace the bracelet with other strap options I think helps, because that's one of the weak points of this piece is that the clasp itself isn't it doesn't have an on-the-fly adjustment, which would have been a nice touch. And I do certainly find this to be adequate, but I may end up rolling the edges some on mine to make it a little bit smoother. The thinness and the fit on the wrist is about as good as it gets for me. So no complaints there on the wearability of the piece. It's very comfortable, and I think that at this price point, this is we start getting spoiled, wanting better for that. And I think the option is, well, if they can increase the quality of that just a little bit, it would be nice. But at this price point, you really just can't complain about that at all. And I'll give you the comparison to the SanMartin on my wrist. But I'm certainly happy with it. I think if they could offer even an upgradable on-the-fly adjustment as a separate purchase, it would be, ideal. The bracelet on the Watchdives has a push pin style adjustment, whereas the SanMartin is using screws. Obviously, there's probably some question on whether or not this would fit on the Watchdives. I have not tried that yet, but given the difference, it would make me wonder if I'd have to actually swap the entire bracelet and things like that versus just the additional end links. And since the end links are smaller than what is sold on the separate on-the-fly adjustment class that SanMartin has, I don't think that would actually fit, at least not without some sort of modification. But I think it was a smart move coming in at this price point, also using the quartz movement in here, so that it becomes a nice everyday grab and go piece. I would be surprised if you are disappointed with this, with the quality of the piece at this price point. It really is a nice watch. I think, you know, if you're looking at the two side by side, realistically, some of the things, like, I do think that the SanMartin Applied logo has a slightly more premium look to it in general, but the Watchdives printed logo is certainly, I appreciate the new logo versus the old logo, and it does look fitting on this particular style watch. The thing about their critique is the size of the hands on the Watchdives. I think they're a little small. I would prefer them to be a little bit larger. I do like the fact that they went with, I'll say, the reverse handset of what the SanMartin used. It's more in line with the original design in terms of the styling of the minute hand as well as the hour hand. You can see on the SanMartin we have the hour hand, that is the shorter pointed tip version, and then the longer minute hand, and then the Watchdives is basically the opposite of that idea. And I think that also provides some differentiation between the two. But I think Watchdives probably should have made the hands slightly larger, fatter, that type of thing. And would also provided a larger lume plot, because the lume plot on the hands are very small. They do have both BGW9 Luminova, but the lume plots are so small on these that they're not going to last a terribly long time. Well, I hope this review has been helpful to you, and please like and subscribe to the channel. And I have affiliate links below if you are interested in purchasing one of these. The watch was purchased with my own money, but that would certainly help me be able to continue to create videos and dedicate time to this.